All right. Good evening, everybody. You got me, and you got Derek Brazda, and hiding back here in the closet we're running a little bit late tonight.
Hey.
Derek, Brent, do you have an echo now?
Sound good now?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me. We finally got rid of the
echo. I'll share a little something with you later on that. There's some inside baseball there we can talk about.
Y'all got to love it. Technical difficulties are always so much fun, Nicole. Nicole is moving around. Gang, I'd like to welcome you guys all to our normal Wednesday night party. Let's go with the party. You got myself, you got Brent Adams down there in the bottom, and you got Derek Brazda up at the top left-hand side. We'd like to welcome you all to Farm Life Wednesday night. We are, I was going to do my live tonight from a different location, and everything changed. I was going to be in a peanut field in South Alabama doing my live from that peanut field, and it didn't quite work out that way. So now I'm back here in the studio, and we're just going to kind of have some fun. Kelly is probably going to show up shortly. She was currently washing a combine the last time I talked to her. And yes, it was the combine. Oh, if you notice what I'm doing, I'm trying to switch some stuff, Derek and Brent. She was the combine that was in the accident last week. They have to wash it to be hauled. So, needless to say, guess what? It was being done. It was being washed to be hauled. It has been a unique week for us. Oh, Nicole said she's gonna hide from us for a while. Brent, tell us a little bit what's going on in your world this week.
Yeah, like usual, another busy week here. Just trying to get stuff together for this next episode of the podcast. We had another great live stream that we did last night. Paige King Johnson, who's a new artist out of Nashville. So she stepped to the plate and helped us out here where Southern Halo had to bow out for a few weeks. They're going to be back in November. So Paige came in and put on a good show. That's why we were having some technical difficulties before the show here. I had to change a setting on my end to get the guitar audio on her end better, because we've been having some janky audio issues the last few weeks. So one little click box, it worked for that, but not so well for this show. So that's the deal there. We've lived and we've learned on that front. So yeah, man. So that, and just putting together the show this week, we've got Scott Bennett, who's the Director of Congressional Relations for the American Farm Bureau Federation, going to be on here talking about the cattle market working group. They put out a report this week here to talk about some of the issues going on in the cattle market, the disparity between the prices being paid to producers and what the big packers are seeing, and what you and I are seeing when we hit the grocery store case here. So
that's definitely an issue.
They've delved pretty deep into that here. They have 10 different state presidents from State Farm Bureau groups here that have worked since April to put that report together. And they've heard from a lot of industry representatives and tried to weigh every side of this here and look at it from every which direction. And, a lot of what they're going to do now is being sent to state and county farm bureaus across the country here. And they're going to use that as everybody convenes over the fall and early winter to start formulating their policies for 2021 here as they get together here for the next Farm Bureau National Convention here. So that's a big issue on the minds of Farm Bureau right now. And I know it is with USDA too. They've addressed it. I think the difference between this and USDA is USDA came out a few weeks ago and said, yeah, we looked into it. We know there's a problem. not much more there. We're going to go and do some more independent studies on it, but we don't really have a lot of details. These guys really put the rubber to the road here and spent a few months digging into it and getting all sides and came up with a really comprehensive little report here that even a simpleton like I am can sit down and read that thing and kind of put two and two together and understand what's going on here in the
and that's been something that's been kind of unique. Has been the a lot of people don't the reports are so
yeah.
I don't know who writes a lot of the reports.
When I was working for Cargill earlier on in my career, I had one of the guys that sits on the trading desk made a comment to me, and it always stuck with me. And he said the USDA is 5 or 6 very, very smart individuals sitting in a room basically saying, I don't know. What do you think it's going to be? Well, I don't know. What do you think it's going to be?
But that's a fact.
Yeah.
I mean, they're technical aspects aside, it's all a speculation on, that's as good as anybody's guess. And it's hard on a year like this year where, we just got done picking soybeans. And this is the earliest we've ever picked soybeans before. And if you'd have asked me on August 1st what I thought our yields were going to be, I said we'd be lucky to have a 3 in front of our dryland beans. That's how poor they looked with the drought and just no rain. And, we got done. Everything was surprisingly better than I thought it was going to be. Irrigated was surprisingly better. So there's no way to tell until you actually get out and start harvesting what this crop is going to be.
Yeah.
And how did y'all actually end up? What did y'all actually end up with, Derek?
So dryland beans were kind of, depending on some of the poorer ground, mid 40s to mid 50s. Irrigated, we had some hitting that 70 range. So
ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, we were absolutely. We were pleasantly surprised on all fronts. So that always makes harvest a little bit better.
Oh, absolutely. It absolutely, we were, now I'm going to tell y'all what, we had some fun yesterday. Yesterday we were at the Wiregrass Research Center, Auburn University's Research Center down in Headland, Alabama. They've got peanuts, cotton, oranges, and forage studies. And it's amazing the changes and the things that are out there right now that are like, wow, okay, that's kind of cool. It was a little chilly yesterday. I granted that. It was definitely a little chilly yesterday.
Man, I tell you what, Auburn got a chance to get up and close and personal with their program last year at Sunbelt. And really impressive, man.
Absolutely.
Talking to a lot of those advisors and a lot of those students, man, really, really sharp folks coming through that program down there.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Zach just put up, actually, Zach, call me on my phone. We'll have some fun. We'll add you into the mix. And my chair just collapsed, y'all. But, now I went too high. Okay, we're there. Y'all know it's been one of those days. Cotton, that's what Zach just said. Cotton has run steady the last few weeks at 63 cents. I never thought I'd be happy to see 63-cent cotton. It would be nice if it was more like 70.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell y'all what, I don't know, I honestly, I'm not sure what's going to happen. What is there that any of us are ever going to make money on anymore? Yeah. Zach, are you ignoring me? But Derek, how did y'all end up with your slight miscalculation with the PTO shaft?
As with most things in agriculture, it looks a lot worse right as it happens than it actually is. So We took it to the welding shop the next morning, and I think Dad called me at 11:30 and said that it was ready to go, and he picked it up and got it put back on, and all that was left for me to do was hold the scoop shovel of shame towards the end of that truck. So got everything cleaned out, and then had the big pile sitting out there on the driveway that took a while to scoop up, but it could have been a lot worse. Nobody was around. I was just happened to be watching it at that exact moment. So, I mean, no equipment ran with, nothing going on. We didn't have too big of a pile under the truck. So one of those things that it could have been a lot worse than it was.
Yeah, I mean, we all have those days. Zach's going to call in just a little while. He's doing something. He said he'd call here in a minute. Kelly, I talked to Kelly, and she's kind of, it's just been, and then it's been a rough week for all of us. And then Ryan Brandon posted a while ago, we got another hurricane due next weekend.
Yeah.
2 models are already showing the hurricane next weekend. Yeah, I know. But now it is. I didn't get last night because of what we were doing. I didn't get to catch your show, Brent. But what little bit I saw looked like y'all were having fun.
Yeah, it was good. It was a total impromptu show. It was kind of funny how all that worked out too, because when I came on here last Wednesday, I didn't have a clue what I was going to do for that show yesterday, because I basically had about 48-hour turnaround to try to figure out how I was going to fill that slot. And next morning, I pulled up my messenger, and there was a message from Paige and said, "Hey, I've got a new song coming out. Would you be interested in talking about it?" I said, "Guess what? Yeah, you're on." So, she was in the right place at the right time and bailed me out. And we had a great conversation. She's out of North Carolina, just outside the Raleigh area, and doing big things here. And like a lot of these younger artists I've been working with lately is plugged into some some really heavy hitters in the industry that are kind of steering her in the right direction. So I was confident after digging into her repertoire a little bit that she was going to be all right, and she was. That was a really good show last night. I was really happy for that one. And looking at some of the analytics of it today, it performed really well too. So I'm happy for her, happy for the exposure.
I talked to Ray Bohaz today. We're going to get Ray on in a couple weeks. We're going to get Ray on. Now, Derek, you got your trailer that we did you sent me today. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so first off, Brandon, happy International Podcast Day.
Yeah, man.
No joke. Yeah.
And on that note, today being the 30th day of the month, on a short month here, I need about 100 more downloads here before. Well, I tell you what, never mind that, because it's 15 minutes past. They count us on Greenwich Mean Time. So we're into October by the podcast metrics. I was flying less than 100 away from beating my record here, and I was hoping to get it, but I think we fell a little short here. So what we had was a killer. What we had was a killer month in August, man, and it's kind of hard to compete with that on a short month to follow it up, and so it's not bad. But I just want to say thank you to everybody that takes the time to push play on that thing and listen to it, because there's a blue zillion things out there that you could be listening to and doing. So I'm just absolutely tickled pink anytime anybody will take time to sit there and listen to anything I got to say or what we put out there. And so just thank you. And if you haven't listened to it, go give it a listen and subscribe to it if you haven't had a chance to. We added a couple more platforms now. So Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Deezer, and Audible now. So three more places to go get it. And we just keep adding it as we find these new avenues. And you know what? I added another one here a few weeks ago that's been really interesting. It's called Ghana. And for folks that don't know about it, it's in India. And I've gotten a lot of traffic out of India here lately. It's really interesting. Yeah. Of all places, there's a big fascination with Western agriculture and the way we're doing things here in the States. So getting some interest from there, and podcasting is big, and obviously they have critical mass there, and it's always interesting to dig into that metrics map and kind of see where you're getting listens from, and you get them from the darndest places. I have a few sneaking them in China. I've got them all over the Middle East, and the Pacific Rim, and a lot in Europe.
It really is crazy to look at that, because like how are some of these people stumbling upon it? I mean, something that you're doing outreach wise is working, and I always kind of get a kick out of it when I check that map and see some, in parts of Africa, and I'm a lot bigger in the UK than in Nebraska. I'll put it that way.
That's what I was just gonna say here is that's always the challenge for me, is that why are more people listening to it in India than they are in North Dakota, and try to figure that out and figure out what we can do better to reach those folks there, because some of that, and it's interesting. I mean, where we're based in the Louisville, Kentucky area, and although our content is national, we skew a lot to the Midwest and Southeast. We're really heavy Indiana, Kentucky, Illinois, Ohio, Michigan. And then it trails off a little bit, which is kind of surprising, up into Michigan into Minnesota and Wisconsin and Iowa. So that's going to be one of my big pushes for 21, is to really hit that area, really hit Kansas and Nebraska and Colorado, and it's not real strong up in the the Wyoming, Montana area out there, the big sky country. So I got some work to do in those areas to kind of let them know, but we're real strong down Georgia, Florida, Alabama, into Virginia, Tennessee.
It's actually kind of crazy how everything fits. I mean, it is, when you look, like we've got some areas, Australia for one, New Zealand are really high for us. Australia and New Zealand our numbers are through the roof.
Interesting story, man. Last summer I did the AAEA, the Ag Communicators, if I can spit it out, network annual convention up in Minneapolis. That was the first time they had held a joint convention with the International Federation of Agriculture Journalists. So you had ag journalists from all over the world there. And I met some really great ag journalists from Australia, and have kept in contact with them and watched their posts pretty frequently, and cattle real big over there in Australia. So I see a lot all the time of ranching going on in Australia, and it's just really interesting to see and talking with journalists from all over the world, how they cover it and what's priority in their countries and so forth. So it's always cool to see how they're paying attention to what we're doing and trying to learn from them, and vice versa.
Oh yeah, it's it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm trying to type a y'all. When I try to type, Nicole has had a rough day and she's not with us tonight. So I'm running the board and trying to do two things at one time. And I almost sent something somewhere that it didn't need to go. That would have been interesting. If anybody wants to call in and have some fun with us, you guys can call in. We'll have some fun. That's up there. If you guys want to call in, you got a question or have some fun, let's do it, because everybody's out. I mean, Derek, you guys are getting beans in. Well, you guys finished up today, right?
Finished up yesterday. Yep. So we got the corn head all hooked up, got the combine switched over, cleaned up. We're ready to go. Everything's gassed up, greased up, oiled up. It's just I don't think we have any corn that'll probably go for another couple weeks. So it's a nice little lull. I've got some bigger projects at work that I'm kind of putting together at my day job. And then honestly, it's a lot of really fun things happening with the show. I'd sent you that trailer tomorrow, and I don't know if any listeners from Nebraska tomorrow. I've got Tim Valla coming on from Valla's Pumpkin Patch, and talking about a story, and just a guy that had the foresight into the agro-tourism market 35 years ago. Started off with just selling he had a you pick your own strawberry patch and enough pumpkins to fill the bed of his truck one time, and he drove down into Omaha and sold them out of the bed of his truck, and now he's got 450 acres of attractions and corn mazes and pumpkins, and he's got the biggest apple orchard in the state of Nebraska, and they're making their own hard apple cider, and they've got it's a family paradise out at this guy's little setup down there just outside. Actually, it's only about 5 miles from my house, and rated as a top 10 pumpkin patch in the nation, a pumpkin patch fall destination in the nation for a lot of magazines and even the Travel Channel. So talked a little bit about his story, and he's previously a teacher, so education is always a big thing, and it's always kind of cool. I always think when you go to these farm touristy places where the learning aspect is so interwoven through the activities that kids don't even realize that they're learning. Yeah. And if you can pull that off, I mean, that's any teacher's dream, right? Is to be able to engage the kids and have fun, and it's kind of, I've got a personal connection to it because I've got a fall birthday, end of October. So growing up in this area, every year when I was a kid, we always had my birthday party there, even though harvest was rolling. So I was kind of joking with them. I was like, I've got a special bond with your place that, I'm sure, hundreds of thousands of people in this area kind of shared that special bond with it. And I mean, to flush 350,000 visitors in through half of September and October is just it's a fascinating thing. And Tim's a really awesome guy. His family is really cool, really just humble, really awesome people. And then tomorrow morning, actually, we've got an early one. I've got somebody from a company called Manna Irrigation from Tel Aviv, Israel. We're doing a show where they actually, we're going to talk a little bit about irrigation, and something that I guess I didn't really realize to begin with is, irrigation can trace its roots, its history and origin back into that Jordan Valley, around that area almost 6,000 years ago. So we're going to talk a little bit about the history of irrigation, the history of drip irrigation, and there's a lot of Israeli companies doing a lot of really cool things and advancing technology and making tools for growers to be better and more efficient at what they're doing. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then there's a lot of really fun shows coming up.
We've got a couple of members on Farm Life that actually farm in Israel, and I did not know that they're no longer cotton. Originally came, they no longer farm cotton in Israel because of the market. By the way, if y'all saw me laughing, Derek, you saw what I did. I think you and Brent saw it. We added the queen.
Mm-hmm.
She is dressed. Today was farm. You had to, it was homecoming. So today was farm day.
Yep. It was farm day, and I was the letter F. And so I dressed as a farmer with flip-flops. So I have flip-flops, which I am a farmer, and I normally wear flip-flops while farming. So I guess it works.
Nicole, I just had to do that because I saw you there, and I was trying to figure out what they were toting down the steps.
We are trying to get our stage cleared, and we have, unfortunately, some students here that are not making good decisions. But we got these tables. We're trying to get them off the stage and put them in a shed so that we can actually practice our one-act play. So, yeah, we are having
by the way, earlier today, Robert just asking, Kelly's going to kill him when she actually gets a hold of him. Earlier today, Robert posted a post of city girls in the winter and farm girls in the winter. And Well, when you go look at the comments on that,
everybody should go give my comment and Kelly Griggs' picture a good love and a like react. Honestly, it would do me good. The more people that seen it and liked it before she sees it,
she's gonna kill him when she sees it. Nicole, why are you shaking your head and saying no?
These guys are gonna get me fired. I swear. Oh my God, Keegan, if you break yourself. This is why I told you I wasn't going to be on the live tonight, Brandon. These kids are driving me crazy. They're trying to lift these tables, and I'm not even going to say on a live what those other boys are doing because I don't want a record of it. So that's why I had to mute myself and yell at them.
Well, we'll let you go back to that. I just wanted to pick on you. And I know you had a rough day, and we just wanted to make you smile.
It was a rough day, but thank you. I'll pop in later. I'll probably just watch on the live, not backstage, so you're not randomly putting me on.
All right, now you know the alarm's going to go off on that door you're on.
Most of the time when it says emergency exit, it's really just a sticker. Like there is no sensor. You know what the emergency exit on this thing is? Like, it's this. This is the lock on this door. Little clip here. and there's a big door thing on it, but there is no alarm.
So. All right, Nicole, well, have fun.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.
That's hilarious. You talk about that agritourism thing. That's fresh on my mind because my wife and I took our daughters to a place that sounds really similar, about 10 miles from us here over the weekend. And I can tell you one thing, COVID hasn't slowed it down a bit. You know, I saw license plates from about 10 different states at that thing. And they also have a winery and a craft distillery and all this stuff. And, a big bake shop and ice cream and cheese shop and the whole 9 yards. And, oh man, I mean they get the city slickers coming and going, man, because none of that stuff is particularly cheap.
Did you say bake shop or bake shop?
Baked goods, like a bakery.
Oh,
yeah. No bake shop. But I wouldn't be surprised if they added that next because they've got about everything else under the sun here, and if they can turn a buck on it, I think they probably would. But I mean, they're just going lights out.
Yeah, we've got one about a half mile from the house here. And when they start their corn maze, I mean, it's like constant all day long, every day.
And they had live music.
Yeah,
they had live music, and they're selling drinks there, mixed drinks and wine and all that. And it was shoulder to shoulder people. I was pretty surprised. Of course, you had about maybe, 40-50% wearing masks. Most of them weren't. I mean, if you're drinking a glass of wine or sangria, you're not wearing your mask. So it was interesting.
Florida did away with it. Florida did away with it last week.
Yeah. Well, Indiana did away with everything but the masks. They kept the mask mandate, but you see fewer and fewer of them now.
Yeah. They, it's funny because Kelly, when I talked to her earlier, they were at the zombie, they're working on theirs, or I think the people were there working on theirs for the zombie paintball. And, that would be so much fun.
Yeah, it sounds like.
Oh yeah. That would be a lot of fun.
Going out there in the dark and shooting at each other.
Yeah.
Why would I can shoot at you with a shotgun in the daylight?
Really?
I mean, once you're outside of 100 yards, it don't hurt that bad. I use rock salt. Don't hate my Crocs.
That bull yesterday, Kenny had to haul a bull yesterday. That bull was not happy yesterday morning when we loaded him. What are you doing anyway?
Sitting here on Facebook laughing at my own post.
I have to admit, when Nicole was talking, I went and looked at it, and It's pretty good. it's pretty good.
Identical twins, huh?
I'm not gonna throw my name on saying that. I'll just say that was a pretty funny post. I like Kelly. I'm not gonna say that.
Kelly is going to kill him.
Kelly don't ever come to Georgia, so I'm not worried about
She
her.
was here 3 weeks ago.
Was she in Rockmart? No.
Keep on.
I ain't worried about
Kelly
her.
will hunt you down in the mood she's in this week. Kelly will hunt you down.
She'll be okay.
Hey, we learned some things this week too. Of course, Bert, Bert Regan that's going to be in the pepper challenge with everybody.
Yeah.
He loves hot stuff.
Can you not multitask?
Oh no, she's dealing with the combine still. But I learned, Derek, do you know how to make one hotter?
Than a Reaper?
How to make a hot pepper hotter?
I don't want to know. How?
I learned that this week in some products that people are using, and there is absolutely no way I would ever do that. There's some stuff they're using to bring the capsaicin up in peppers for pepper spray to the point that it's not even where you can eat it.
Yeah.
Like there's a point, and over this whole process, I have acquired probably 15 bottles of hot sauce from different places, and I've had some people send me some. I've gotten a couple extra. I thought it was a good idea at the time, and so I've been eating hot sauce on quite a bit of stuff lately, and there's a fine line between this adds enough to be enjoyable and have a little kick. And then there's a couple of them that's like, I'm not just going to voluntarily lay on the ground and let a donkey kick me in the face. Over and over.
I took a $20 bet in 7th grade. I made a $20 bet with a kid in school that I couldn't eat what were those? The Trinidad scorpion peppers. Those things literally killed me, but I got my $20.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll do double or nothing. I'll give you another $20 if you can eat 2 Carolina Reapers. Andy goes quiet.
$20 is $20.
Let's put it this way.
I know how hot they are.
Barry and Carrie got into a bet, and Barry drank almost a whole gallon of milk to get the pain out.
And milk doesn't help. It doesn't help.
It really don't.
It does.
It really doesn't help.
There's nothing that you can do, especially if you're eating it on like a wing or something, because it gets all over your lips and it gets like all over your like. I honestly think the only thing you can do with the actual Reaper pepper is to just pop it into your mouth and take it like a giant pill and just swallow something. Don't even chew it. And
when
then
you
just
get something that hot, the best thing I found is like a cube of ice. Just like throw a cube of ice in your mouth, and it numbs your mouth to where you can't feel it. But once the ice cube is gone,
Oh, that's an idea. You could spray lidocaine on your mouth before you eat it.
Well, then how are you going to deal with what happens to you on the other end? Because if you listen to that show with Ed, he goes in depth on a phenomena called ring sting, and it is every bit as horrible as it sounds.
Also
okay. Well, if
fire in the hole.
Yep. You say the other end. Why don't you use lidocaine in the mouth? And if you got it in a spray, like hike your leg, spread your cheeks. Let's go, son.
Y'all, I got to tell y'all something funny. Monday, we were on our way from Statesboro over to, we were running from Statesboro over to Dothan. we had this guy in. Oh, hold on just a second.
We have a caller.
All right, what are you doing? Hello?
Hey, you ain't got to yell.
Yeah. What's that? What are you doing, bud?
Eating a little asphalt with 18 wheels at a time.
Me too. I ate it with teeth, though.
Well, where are you at tonight?
I am about 30 minutes north of the shop in Gibson County, actually.
Nice. Hauling corn?
Yeah, helping out a buddy of ours, getting some corn out. I'm doing a little trucking for him.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Zach, it's been a rough weekend. I know Kelly just texted me. She's still cleaning up the combine. So we're trying to be a little lighthearted this week. And yes, the 63-cent cotton is just tickles the fancy. At least it's not 58 cents.
Do what now? You broke up on me.
I broke up.
Yeah, you sound like you got your phone sitting in the toilet.
Well, now that's the first. That's because it's a Tennessee. You're in Tennessee. Your string is stretching out too long.
Yeah.
How was it going? I was gonna ask Kelly about this. How is it when you're out spraying defoliant? I love how you guys were perfect. All Matt needed to do now was change and send little codes to the machines.
Yeah. It's I mean, we're trucking along pretty smoothly. It's yeah, it stinks not having the boss man out there with us,
but you know what, Zach, you guys have done a great job.
Well, we're just trying to keep the train on the tracks is all I'm trying to do. I'm letting Kelly make the big make sure I'm pointed in the right direction and not screwing anything else up.
Well, you're doing pretty good. No, I just was going to pick on you. Well, I figured you could call in. You know, it is a lot of people don't realize how hard it is getting this time of year. And when you're short one person, that makes it even harder.
Oh, it brings you back to reality real quick.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. All right, bud. Well,
some advice on the hot pepper challenge for the fellas.
Okay.
Half milk, half heavy cream.
I take it you know that from experience?
Very much so. The cream, the heavy cream helps coat your throat, and the milk is what actually helps cool it down.
So, are you saying beforehand or afterhand?
After. It will help extinguish the flames afterwards.
Well, we're going to get to see in a few weeks. Oh, we're going to have to, we got to get Matt well before we can do it.
Well, you can still come up and shoot some zombies.
Oh, I'm game for that. Derek, you and Brent, we all ought to meet. We all ought to meet there and shoot some zombies.
And let me clarify: you're not shooting at each other. You are willingly get to shoot at high school students, and they can't do anything back to you.
Perfect.
If we pay extra, can we have Kelly dressed up like a zombie running through there for us to shoot, and she can't do anything to us?
I'm gonna stand back and watch, because I know she's about to jump on down. She's gonna crawl somebody's throat. ain't enough money in the world for me to stand there and get shot with paintballs all night.
No, there is definitely there's a lot of things I'll do in life, and one of them is not being a human target.
I'll tell you this, and Kelly will back it up. Whenever they first came up with this idea and they started setting up the trailers and the guns, they have the big commercial grade, heavy duty, in your face paintball guns is what they've got. And they didn't know how to dial them back.
Oh no.
So they decided, hey, let's try out all these bodysuits and see how it works. Well, Matt was one of the volunteers to try out the bodysuits, and they put about 30 paintballs on him, and he looked like he had leeches attached to his body where he was.
And y'all know, I can just imagine Matt with that. Now that's what's funny.
Well, it was. I mean, nobody around here had come up with anything like this. It was freaking cool when they were talking about it, and then it got uncool real quick.
Look good on paper.
It always looks good on paper. It looks much better on paper than it does in person.
Oh yeah.
Well, Zach, it's gonna be a good end. We've only got a little while longer in 2020. That's all I'm gotta say. We're almost done with the year.
I'm hoping this thing is almost over. Between watching I don't even want to start on last night. Besides just saying it looked like a fourth grade classroom on TV. No, you're a booger face. No, you're a booger face.
No. I should have had Nicole to come in and moderate it.
Oh yeah,
get better from here. Got to.
It can't get much worse. We're in the bottom now.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Well, be careful. You have fun.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, I got to tell you guys something funny. I was trying to tell you a few minutes ago, and then I forgot. I stopped when Zach called. We were on our way from Statesboro to Dothan, right? And this guy in a brand new Corvette had been behind us for about 60 miles on 2-lane roads, backwoods roads. We're cut across the state. We'd gone through 3 or 4 cities. Finally, he gets around us, and I'm just kind of trucking along at my own little speed, and we come around the curve, and I see this Corvette sitting in the driveway with the back hatch open. I said, well, it had been raining on us when we first started. I said, well, I guess he's going to take the top off. We get closer, and this guy's not even hiding, nothing. He had apparently had some intestinal difficulties.
Oh, no.
And had an issue in that brand new Corvette.
Oh,
No.
He was standing on the side of the road with just a shirt on in his birthday suit, watching cars go by. He was just looking at the cars as they come by. He just turned his head. There was nothing he could do at that point. Absolutely nothing. I mean, what do you do? What do you do? I know one thing. If I'd been in my brand new $110,000 car, I would have made sure I stopped at a restroom before I did it in the car.
Man.
So,
well, that's the kind of stuff you don't see when you're tethered to the desk all day, man.
no, it's not. It's not.
Jeez.
And then we ended up we got to Dothan, Actually, we were in Ashford, Alabama. I went to a peanut field. Y'all, I've never seen mosquitoes that big. I've been in South Louisiana and never seen mosquitoes that big.
Wow.
We're talking $50 size mosquitoes.
Jeez.
So, well, it was kind of, tonight's been a little bit different, but since I had to change up at the last minute, well, it is. Robert's made hamburgers. By the way, when you leave a 21-year-old at home and you're on the road for several weeks, you come home and there's boxes of Baby Shark, macaroni and cheese in the cabinets, soup and noodles. Oh,
Sounds
and
about right.
we're down to one package of smoked sausage.
What did you start with?
The whole refrigerator was full. There was probably 15 packages of hot dogs. I mean, it's down now. It's down to a couple of 12-pack of beer, Mike's Hard Lemonade, a thing of mayonnaise, a little bit of tea. We're missing the hot dog buns, but we got the sausage that we bought for the hot dog buns. So I'm not sure. I have no idea where that came from. So, yeah, I mean, it's gotta love it. So what I guess I gotta restock the house before I leave again next week to go dig peanuts in South Georgia.
So what is the season on peanuts? Is it getting close to? I mean, I was telling you the other day I need to get a peanut grower on the show to just talk me through the process of what it's like to grow them and I mean, what's the season on those?
They are right now. Right now is the time they're all starting to get ready. They're all starting to combine them. They're digging them now and letting them dry and starting to combine. The fields we were in yesterday, some of them were already. Some of them were already combined and in the process, but yesterday it rained, so we were kind of at a kind of a yucky part with it. But now is the time where they're starting. They'll start over the next few weeks. They'll get heavier and heavier over the next few weeks, and then we'll drop into cotton even more so.
So
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna follow up. So, I mean, can you just go out if you turn a peanut up and it's dried out? Can you just go and grab it off the vine and eat it?
Yeah, you can eat it. You can eat green ones. That's how they boil. The green ones, you can pull green ones up and run them and boil them today.
I'll tell you what, if you know of anybody or if there's anybody listening that's a peanut farmer and wants to spend an hour on the show one time just giving me an in-depth breakdown of what it's like to grow peanuts, then just shoot me a message or drop a comment on United We Ag's Facebook page or Twitter, Instagram, any of that stuff. I'm fairly booked up probably for the rest of 2020, but first part of 2021, if you've got an hour to spare sometime, I'd love to learn a little bit more about peanuts.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got some really good farmers on Farm Life that are good peanut farmers. And we'll do that. We'll get all that put together. And I'll be live probably next Wednesday night. My live next Wednesday night will be from a peanut field again. We should be no, to be honest, Ken, cotton is not the best way to go right now. Peanuts, that'll leave you speechless right there. I mean, what's the better of all evils at this point? Next Wednesday night, I probably will be live from a soybean field. So we'll have soybean field. There we go. We'll be live next Wednesday night from a peanut field, and we'll probably have some fun because we probably will be either digging peanuts or they won't be dry enough to pick yet, but we'll be live from that peanut field probably next Wednesday night and have some fun.
So you have the peanut field and the peanut gallery. It'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it don't get much better than that.
So let me ask you a question real quick here. You were talking about these hurricane systems coming up. I mean, how much are guys going to be thrashing between peanuts and cotton to start trying to get a jump on things before that comes through?
Well, if that's the case, everybody's going to try to beat the gun. I mean, if that's the case, everybody is going to try to beat the gun. You've got guys that have already defoliated cotton. They're going to try to get as much as they can get done. Let's just hope that prediction is wrong, because it's showing it coming in right where that one come in a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeesh.
Yeah. I mean, let's just hope that the models are wrong, because none of us need to deal with that. There's a lot of it. This is the time of year where peanuts and cotton are at their most critical point. And just a little bit of weather can make that pivotal point either sink like the Titanic, or that flag will go up like a great big pirate ship. So, but, you know, we should have called Matt Griggs. We know Matt's at home. We should have called Matt and got him on with us tonight, because he's at home. He's sedated on pain meds, and he's bored.
We still got 6 minutes. Give him a jingle.
Let me see. Y'all, Kelly's going to kill us. Y'all know that, right?
I'm the farthest away, so I guess I'll see what she does to you guys first.
Yeah, we have a meeting next week with her. All of us are meeting next week in Missouri, the end of next week. I don't have Matt in this new phone. I just realized that. Matt's in my other phone. I'm lucky there. She's not going to kill me now. I don't know who's worse, her or Nicole. I don't want either one of them mad at me. Well, guys, I know we're running here, but I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. It's been a long day. Although we stopped at Providence Canyon on the way home. The Little Green Canyon in Georgia. Huge washout. That's all it is, a big washouts from the 1800s from cotton. Yeah. But it's a neat place to see. But we can get off of here, and it's been a great night. I'm glad you guys joined us. Brent,
no, thank you.
For the rest of this week.
Yeah, so we're done with the live streams for the week here. That episode 74 of the podcast is going to come out again on Friday morning. Scott Bennett, the Director of Congressional Relations for the American Farm Bureau Federation, and talking about that cattle market working group. And the quarterly USDA stocks report came out today. We're going to kind of recap that, and also the small grains annual report. And, you were talking earlier about just kind of guesstimating on a lot of that stuff, and like a lot of those government reports that now they base 2020 based on the revised 2019. So they do go back and do a lot of revisions, and I guess the NAS reports aren't a lot different than the unemployment reports or some of those other where you're constantly going back and tweaking based on the new information you get. So we'll go back and recap all those. We've got our buddy Ray Bohacks, the hot rod farmer. There's bushels and cents here, so we'll have that. Also, the music of Scott Southworth on the podcast. Great honky tonk singer. Had him on a couple weeks ago and enjoyed that. So that's going to be that. Then next Tuesday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central, Mira Goto, who's another great up-and-coming country singer. Seeing her name everywhere. She's going to be on the show. And then 2 weeks, Brecken Miles, who's another guy that's kind of turning some heads in Nashville. So getting a lot of these new artists here lately, really good vibe, really young folks that have a great appreciation for the true roots of traditional country music. So looking forward to bringing those to everybody. So again, that's the big stuff there. We've got a few ag live streams I've got lined up for the next few weeks coming up. So stay tuned for more on that. I'm bringing in somebody from the corporate office at Case IH to talk innovation and some of the new things that they're working on and just their whole overarching innovation strategy. So I'm really looking forward to that, to kind of pull back the curtains on some of the stuff that they're doing.
And that's cool. It is. We talked to Casey the other day. They're having, like you said, they're having a revamp on a lot of things because the shows where they bring out new tractors are not there this year.
Yeah.
Derek, what have you got for the rest of this week?
So this week, tomorrow, we'll have the Vallis Pumpkin Patch episode going live first thing in the morning. That will be, a good one. We're doing some recording, like I said, with Mana Irrigation out of Israel. That's going to be kind of fun because we're going to have a format kind of like this. It's not going to be live, but we're gonna have a face-to-face podcast for the first time because we're going to get some live looks at what their app is capable of doing and kind of just show how simple it is for guys that are looking for something that's a little bit more of a different style of management for their irrigation. Going forward, we've got some more live streams planned, usually Thursday nights. I think next Thursday and the Thursday after that, bringing in some other interesting companies that are doing some different things within agriculture. There's a couple apps that have kind of a connecting farmers for workflows and helping smaller operations get reach directly to consumers. And then in the works with talking with a couple John Deere dealers to get some of their ISG guys in, just to give one thing that I will stand on this mountain till the end is that one of the most underappreciated roles within a John Deere operation is the service and the technicians and these guys they're out there, away from their families at all hours of the day. They get the guff from the customer. Oh, you're charging me X amount. Well, the technician's not, the company is. And a lot of them are very service minded, very smart individuals. And so kind of highlighting some work on that. We've got a really, really big announcement, probably the biggest show announcement of that I've done so far coming down the pipeline here. I'm going to hold my words on it a little bit until the recording is actually done, but it's something I'm beyond excited about. I've got verbal confirmation and plans and everything all laid in for that. And then other than that, we'll start corn here pretty quick, maybe a couple weeks. If you give me a ring on a Wednesday night, I'll just join you from the cab of the combine as we're picking corn. So,
boy, he dropped quite a teaser in our lap there.
Oh yeah.
I would love to talk about it, but Brent, as much as I know, if I were to tell you about what it was right now, something would happen. It would fall through.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It happens to us every single time.
Well, as you saw me having to come on here and backpedal about what I'm doing.
Echo. Hello.
After I'd been promoting one for a couple of weeks and it called in the 11th hour and backed out, I know exactly what you speak of. So
it happens, and that's why they call it entertainment, because we definitely have to learn to back up and punt.
Yeah.
And when I've been sitting down, my producer Ryan and editor, he's already made the theme song for it. We've already kind of talked about what the promos are going to be. It'll be big when it happens. So just like I said, need to spend those 2 hours behind the microphone making everything happen, and then we can start talking about it and getting excited. So I'm still looking for any farmers out there that have a haunted barn, haunted farmhouse, any kind of haunted story for the Halloween special. That's coming up here end of October. So if you've got a fun story that you want to talk about, trying to get probably 2 or 3 more just 15-minute stories to put together a little compilation show for guys to listen to when they're out picking corn in the wee hours of the morning and thinking that corn dust is showing them figures out in the distant field somewhere. So, but yeah,
that's cool.
Anybody interested, just drop me a message and we'll get you on the schedule.
All right, guys. Well, as always, it's been a great night. Derek Brazda with United We Ag.
Thank you.
Brent Adams, Fastline Fast Track.
Thank you.
Me, myself, and I. And we'd like to thank you guys for the Wednesday night special. On behalf of Concept Agritech, Fastline Fast Track, Gateway Seed, you guys have a great night. We're going to get out of here. I'm going to go eat hamburgers that were cooked like 2 hours ago. I just never got to eat because I was rushing when I got home. Y'all have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
Good night.